Hello, everybody. This is the local pundit, and this is WREXtra Time. Josh has just signed off, and the Wrexham Birmingham match has ended 1-1 after an absolute scorcher of a match. Birmingham played their asses off in the first half and the first half of the second half, but my did we come back in the last 20-30 minutes and push them for all we were worth. A little bit anemic on our striking, unfortunately, but I absolutely thought Fletcher had it in the last couple of minutes. He just took his eye off the ball for 1 second as he was going in for it and missed his header, which is not like him. But c'est la vie, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But a draw, I think, is definitely a decent result for us. Ken, first thoughts?
Mate, that is the football I want to watch.
Every week.
That was a great game of football.
Congratulations. And away from home.
Yeah. Congratulations to both. Yeah, want us to play like that away as well. Congratulations to both teams. I thought it was a great match. Both teams had their opportunities, to be fair. We obviously dominated the very end of the game. They went more defensive just to secure the draw. But I mean, look, we played great football. They played great football. You can see what a dangerous side they are. And, yeah, draw. You know, I said at the start, I'll be happy with the draw. My heart wanted to win, and we had our opportunities.
Absolutely. We had a header from Macca that he almost turned in. Lovely last-second spot from the keeper. Got the hands up. And
great save
really
by the keeper.
Close. Eh? Great save by the keeper. Very late. Absolute reaction to that.
Had it been Premier League, it would have been a VAR to see whether it crossed the line. That's how close it was.
For the header?
For the header, like he stopped it right on the line. I'm not saying it went in. I'm saying that they would have done a VAR.
I see what you mean. I don't think it was that close though, because every bit of the ball needs to be over. So.
Yeah,
we've seen some horrid ones. AO had one last season that was over that line and wasn't called. The tiniest bit couldn't be seen, so it wasn't ruled a goal.
I've got to say it. Well played, Ollie Palmer today.
Really,
I was bagging him yesterday, and I put my hands up. He played well.
I'm going to put a pin in that one, because that is a discussion topic. Yeah, I have positives and I have positives and I have negatives on that, in my opinion. So,
yep. And by my opinion, he played to his potential today.
That's not a fair metric.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, players are only as good as they are, and I think Palmer played well for Ollie Palmer today, and I think he played and did what Parky wants out of him.
Yeah, so we can absolutely discuss that further. Other chances, briefly, before we go into it later. James had a lovely through ball breaking the defensive line into the box and almost got it there. They got a touch on it, got a deflection, great defending from them, but he was so close to getting that through for a tap in. So that was amazing. And then there obviously was the Fletcher goal, which we said. So yep. What else was like right on the line that was close? I think they were the main ones, maybe.
Well, Dobbo, look, very late on there, Dobbo did a pass into Mullin did a pass into Dobbo, and Dobbo just was in front of it. He couldn't get his feet back on it.
Yeah, couldn't get his feet on it. Birmingham had a similar one, sort of, where they got the break and passed the ball back across the box, and just a little bit too fast on the ball coming in. Couldn't get his feet up and get it aimed on, but that was another one for them. But wow, that great game.
Yeah, great game. What do you reckon? It is a phone-in show. You want me to put the link up in the comments?
I have already done it to start. It's right up there.
Okay. It's right at the top, guys. Yep, it is at the top. If you want to jump in. Because I thought that was an absolute fantastic game of football. And everybody's saying they were first, like people saying first, second. I'll tell you who was first. Sasha, our new member. Everybody else, someone else said first and then second. Sasha beat you all, guys. But yeah,
Okay.
back to the game. Seriously, what an entertaining game of football to watch. Played in the right spirit, played hard, but played fair. Both, yeah, just really, really great. Oh, look who we got.
Yeah, John Merrill in the background. I can see you. I'll bring you in 2 minutes. I'll just give another 1 or 2 minutes for people to filter in. And then we will pull you in and we will hit the topics and start doing a deep dive. Just while I'm watching you there, John, quick thumbs up if you are good with everything on your end. And I'll drop you in 2 minutes. Yeah, okay. Won't be too long now. So
And
let's just...
I'm going to be very interested to hear John's thoughts on the game too, some of the Birmingham substance.
Of course. So, quick shout out then to everyone who's in here. We have Sasha first, as you just said. We have Nick Donlan, Sanjay second, maybe everyone's second. Dan Moore is here. Brian Burton, BJ Ford, Michael Wolf, Elril L is here. Brian Burton is here, of course. Brian Smith, Glenda's here. Michael Pierce. What's he saying about VAR there? If we had, let's put it up. If we had VAR, they would have gotten a pen at the start of the game because of the handball.
Probably the ball was kicked. Cleatworth's hands were down by his side.
You know what? That's one of those. Maybe we can discuss it later. It depends on how busy we are. But yeah, maybe it would have gone to VAR. But that's one of those where the rules are so bloody weird, and it's still down to discretion. Was the hand in an unnatural action? All this sort of crap. I hate rules that are woolly and too grey to be easily understood and applied. Hip Karma's in the house. Aaron's here. Mulberry Red is here. Kixay.
Yeah.
Dr. Joy, there's loads of people in here. Yeah, let's go.
I want to hear this. I want to hear the Birmingham side of things, Paddy. Bring Johnny in.
Okay, John, here we go. Hello.
Evening.
Good evening. Hey, welcome. So, first impressions of that?
Tough game. Hanging on for dear life towards the end, not going to lie. Probably a fair result overall.
Yeah, probably.
I think you guys won the tactical battle. You dragged us into your sort of game, not what the sort of game we wanted. I thought overall for us, it was plain to see we were missing Paco, Water and Williamson, 3 huge players for us in the centre of midfield. I don't think we controlled the midfield with any great deal of confidence throughout the whole game, really. I mean, we had there was a few chances, I would say, that I'm a bit annoyed about. I think May should have done better with a couple. There was one that was cut across to him, which he just air-shotted and missed, and we should have been a bit more clinical in those areas. But
I'm going to cut in here. I saw a comment, probably from one of your boys by the look of it. Mazza King, lads, you drew with a team full of injuries. Great point, but nothing to shout about. And I was just about to ask you, okay, yes, you're missing 3 of your big players, but the rest of your squad is so strong. Should you have needed them?
The way we play, yes. Because we are so focused on the possession base, how we build and how we attack a team. I think Leonard's a wonderful player, but Paken and Water are just different levels. They give us that extra degree of confidence in midfield. I think today you could see there were so many occasions where Ben Davis and Clara had ball at the back, and there was a pass on to Gardner Hickman and there was a pass on to Leonard, which normally with Paken and Water, they would ping that in there. It'd be control, one touch out, round the corner. They didn't have that confidence to pass that quick pass into them. It was always a bit tentative, I thought, and a bit too cautious, which I think is down to the personnel more than anything. And I think as much as I thought Dykes had an okay game, Williamson is levels as a number 10.
That's fair enough. I mean, look, and with Mazza King's comment there, with team full of injuries, I mean, every team can say that. I mean, if Marriott's fully fit and playing, we have our best striker on the field. So, but in saying that, you guys have got a great squad. Great squad.
You can only play the team that's in front of you at the end of the day. So injuries are not, like you said, everyone's got them. Yeah, we've probably got, it's unusual that you lose both your midfielders at the same time. I mean, most teams you would have one out, or so to lose both at the same time is a big blow. And to be honest, the amount we've played this season with Paken Awata, there hasn't been a lot of rotation. So Leonard and Gardner Hickman have played 90 minutes for the last couple of games, but that's been it for the entire season. It's been Paken Awata every game. So I think they did well. It was a big ask for them to come into that sort of hostile environment, against a strong side at home, up the top end of the table. So I think they did well. They did as well as they could do, to be honest.
Okay. Bruce has a great point here in response to Mazza King. So Wrexham's best defender out and best full game striker not fully back from injury. Were we a full strength side? We're not either. The majority, I suppose, of our defence and midfield was standard, but our attack is very anemic at the moment in general.
Yes.
And I suppose you could probably see that as well. When we were getting up there, we weren't getting clear chances. We weren't taking shots from distance, stuff like that. We were getting the crosses in and we were giving you some bit of trouble. But I do think Lee in this more attacking role, he's far too small as a target for crosses coming in. So on our side, we were very weak in attack again, but it was a real team effort, which it's been all season, to be honest, with regard scoring in general.
Yeah, we lack that finishing quality, and that's clear to see. And I mean, and in saying that, great early goal by Rath. Like, that was a great strike.
Yeah, it's a foul though.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Don't get me wrong. It is it's a wonderful strike, but it's a foul.
Yeah, sometimes they're not given.
No. Exactly. I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the strike, but it's a foul.
Yeah. So no, but no. Look, highlights. Your team, like, best players. Highlights for you.
I thought Clara at the back was magnificent.
Yeah,
I'm going to really annoy Josh. I thought Palmer for you was really good. I don't think I don't think he was like clinical, but he caused us a lot of problems. Just by his movement, his physicality. He gave you a platform to attack us. The ball went up to there. Yeah, it might not stick, but he allowed it to cause panic, and the ball would bounce. Then it would go to our fullback. Then we were rushed, and then he allowed your players to push up. So I think he was a real handful, to be honest.
I actually commented on that in the chat, saying that Palmer was causing Clara problems. He was really, and unfortunately for Palmer, he lacked a little bit of quality at his feet. And in fairness to Palmer, our team around him weren't quick enough to give him options to lay off.
Yeah, that's true. So we've been having this kind of ongoing discussion for quite a while, in that Palmer really isn't fast enough. He's not quick enough, and you could see again his lack of pace. But we did get the ball to him in some open space to give him time. And it is true what Ken was saying. On numerous occasions, we left him on his own, as we did with numerous players, where we were not giving options. Players were not getting into positions to take the ball back off him. So I think we are looking for an upgrade on Palmer with Smith, if we can get him in. And I think we need it. But this has been the discussion forever. So Palmer has stayed in because he's a key to how we play, with the big man up front and getting the ball up there. And we could see it again today. And it's his effort and his work rate. He's getting back in defence. He's causing problems. He's hassling in general. But again, it's just that clinical finishing and the bit of speed and stuff like that. He's not scoring on his own enough, and he's also not creating direct chances for others to score. He's just hassling the defence.
I'm going to say something controversial. I'm going to say something controversial here.
Go on.
If you can find a big man who is clinical and scores goals regularly, well, that's Haaland, isn't it? And there aren't many of them around. They're just, they're just, that big target man below the Premier League, shall we say, they're just not around, because if they are big and they're strong and they score 20 goals a season, they cost a hell of a lot of money, and they're not playing at this level or even the Championship level, if I'm being honest. So it's like tonight. I thought Palmer did what you would expect Palmer's role to do, and I thought he played it really well. I thought the Lee experiment next to him didn't work, caused us little to no issue whatsoever. So I was a little bit surprised he played, if I'm honest, because you kind of thought big man, little man. But I would. I think, like you said, the downside to Palmer is, like you said, he is limited with the ball at his feet, and I think it sounds horrible, but he's limited in his football intelligence about his interchange and his play. He's a big guy, can hold up the ball, but when he's got the ball, for me, he isn't quick enough with, the pass back or the chest back or the flick on, or, he's a good guy and he's held it up. I mean, he flattened Ben Davis at one point and you thought, that's kind of what you would expect. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
And you notice when Elliot Lee came off, he was gassed because, like, Palmer's the target man, which means Elliot Lee's running a whole heap of lines and covering a lot of territory because it's Palmer's job to be that target up front. And, I mean, you can definitely see we need a little bit better. And I think you saying that exactly about Palmer lacking that little bit of football intelligence, that's probably a little bit more shown off when Fletcher comes on, because Fletcher is at the end of his career, but he's got an amazing football brain.
Yeah, Fletcher's played at the highest level, and you can see that. It's the speed of thought, and that's the one thing I've noticed with this league compared to the Championship. It's the player's speed of thought, that split second to make a decision on the ball or what to do, body position. That it's what separates the top players in this league to everyone else. It's. But then again, you can't, like I said, you can't take nothing away from Palmer. He is what he is. He's not suddenly going to turn into Haaland. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, we have James in the background. I'm going to bring him in now, and he can join the convo. Hey, James.
What's going on, guys? I'll take the point. We can't have any more of last week. We can't have any more slip ups like last week.
Yeah, last week was horrible. So let's leave that alone.
In the past, it's gone. It's way back in history.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, if we want to take automatic promotion and not have to worry about fighting in the playoffs, we can't have last week.
Yeah.
Well, actually, John, you mentioned it on your show with Josh that the bounce back from that game and even a draw for us to something to move forward. I think that was a very good point you made the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would all love to have won. Don't get me wrong, everyone loves to win, don't they? So, but I thought from the Shrewsbury performance and result, but performance more though than anything, I just thought if you could come and play us and play well, which I think you did, I think it gives a platform so you can put the Shrewsbury performance and defeat to bed now. It's gone. You can you're going to your next game and say, do you know what? We took the league leaders right to the edge. They were hanging on right, in the last 10 minutes. The confidence, and you can build the momentum from there. The key is now, isn't it? You've got a lot of away games coming up, which I know obviously your away form is the issue. So that's the next thing I think you need to address.
We have a few. Yeah, we have a few.
John, I got a question for you. Do you think we out-physical you guys today?
Yes. Yeah, totally. Which, to be fair, I think must have been the game plan because, no disrespect, if you try to out-football us, you weren't going to do that. There was one winner. You had to make it a physical fight for the whole game, which I thought you did. I thought first half was a bit more even and there was a bit more football play, but I thought second half Parky clearly got into your team at half-time and said, get the ball upfield, get amongst them, get into them, fight, tackle, make it a bitty game, free kicks. He wouldn't matter, he wouldn't want a tempo to the game. He would quite want a bitty sort of stop-start game because it suits the style. Yeah,
those first few minutes up till Rathbone's goal, I was like, and I put it in the game thread, I was like, all right, Birmingham City, y'all going to have to come in physical today because, like, you could tell, like, that was the message from Parky was like, this is going to have to be a dogfight, boys.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's an interesting point. In that, I often personally find that when referees allow the football to flow, I don't think we come out the better for it, actually. And I mentioned that in the Shrewsbury game last match, where the referee was letting it flow. We did not come out the better of it. Now today, the ref did do the same thing, and we were chasing absolutely everything. We did manage to intercept and steal quite a few passes and balls that you were making in forward runs, which was a little unusual. But yeah, it worked today, and it doesn't usually, actually. It's an odd one.
I think the interesting thing from my point to you guys would be, I think you had to put a lot of effort. There was a lot of chasing. There was a lot of closing down, which you probably wouldn't. I wouldn't say you wouldn't notice, but that went on sort of undeserved in the sense, we were trying to pass it out from the back, and your wing backs are having to push up, and everyone's having to shift, and that takes it out the legs. And you do that for 90 minutes. I think the key will be now, next game, will you still have those sort of energy levels? Because that's the thing for me is, can you go again? Or will he change the team? I don't know, but we see it a lot with. I think I mentioned it to Josh. We see it a lot when teams play us. They raise their game, and there's a real energy about them, and then you see their next game, and then they just get flattened by somebody that you wouldn't expect, because it's the old saying, isn't it? After the Lord Mayor show, where you've put so much effort in, it's the next game you see that dip in performance.
Yeah, I think look, we definitely lift against the better teams. We do. That is shown throughout all of our seasons. But I think we need to actually have a mental shift to play at this level week in, week out, which we do struggle to do. And if we can start to bring even a 20-30% rise in that level, that will be enough to actually make a massive difference in this league.
Well, Ken, that's where I would like to see when we play the lower teams. That's where I would like to see guys like Ravon and Mindy, the younger guys, get their run, because, like I said, that's young and hungry versus the older guys that are like, all right, I can relax, take a deep breath. And it's like, no, you can't. Because these are guys that are fighting at the bottom of the table, don't want to fall into a relegation battle. Like, no, you got to be hungry and go at these guys. And so it's one of those, all right, Parky, like, go sit the vets, let them take a breath, go put the hungry guys on, and let them be dogs in an American term.
Good call.
Okay. There's a bit of a discussion going on in chat there that I've been reading, but I haven't posted them all up because it's a bit of back and forth. And it came from one of the Birmingham players basically saying that he doesn't think we will make automatics second. But most likely playoffs fairly comfortably. So I'm going to ask you, John, on that one first before we kind of give our own opinions. As you see it now, do you see us being able to take second?
No, sorry.
Fair enough. Yep, that's your.
Yeah. I just think your away form is too much of an Achilles heel, and you see it. I think it was us last season in the Championship. Our away form was diabolical, and you get halfway through the season, you look, you've only picked up a couple of points away from home. The problem is it's really hard to do. You can't suddenly change that mindset or that form round. It doesn't just happen. Some of it can be to do with team setup, how you play, blah blah blah. But ultimately, it's one of those. You very rarely see a team that's, the pattern is they're very good at home, very poor away from home. That suddenly just flips, or the away form suddenly clicks. It's incredibly unusual for that to happen, and I think, sadly for you guys, I think that will be what will put pay to your automatic shot.
So who's going to finish second, though, John? If in your opinion,
at the moment, I would probably guess Huddersfield, because I think
everyone thinks Huddersfield.
Yeah, I must admit, I think they've always looked a decent, solid side, but for me, every time I've seen them this season, they just had absolutely nothing up front. They've created chances like you wouldn't believe, but just had no one to score. Now they've got people that can score.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they've spent like $5 million here in January to get strikers.
2. Yeah. Okay. So quick answer. Ken, can we get second as is? No one coming in.
Well, ironically, I'm going to say yes. And the reason I'm going to say, not that I think we're not going to get anyone, because we are, but the reason I'm going to say yes is because we have a very good history of playing the second half of the season a lot better than other teams. We finished the season strong.
Okay. James, I have a follow-up to this. That's why I'm trying to get a quick answer.
I'm undecided. We haven't played Huddersfield yet, have we?
Not the second half. No.
Not second.
Yeah.
I'm really undecided. But yeah,
Okay.
I think we will.
Okay. I don't think we will as we stand, and we absolutely need to improve. The Wycombe are a bit hit and miss. They've lost a lot of people. They're trying to get people in at the moment, so we'll see how they go. But yeah, Huddersfield has improved, and I do believe we'll be stronger in the second half. Personally, I think we need Smith to come in and to take over from the Palmer role, and if he can do it better than Palmer, I think that's enough to get us the second spot. Because what we're doing is working. And if we can get the Palmer part of it to work just a little bit better, a couple of goals from that position and a couple of more actual assists directly, I think that's enough to actually finish it out and have a real shot at second. But right now, without the players in, which we haven't got just yet, I wouldn't think we'll take second.
Yeah. See, yeah, Patty, I'm kind of right there with you. I think we can if we bring in reinforcements. If we don't, so that's where I'm at. I think we have the capabilities, but I think we need to bring in a striker. I think we need to bring in some midfield help, and I think we need to bring in somebody that can on the back three that can help reinforce that, because we know where I stand with a certain individual.
That's kind of the best of all worlds where we upgrade everything. But definitely, I think it's doable.
I'm not
with
saying we
just
got to splash the cash.
Yeah.
We can be smart and play money ball with it, but
yeah, I think Longman as well. Like if we get Longman and Smith, I think that's a very solid upgrade. Similar to Huddersfield and others, and I think we can definitely play for it. Okay, so guys, new topic. Anyone want to suggest a topic?
Did anybody catch Ryan's Men in Blazers interview this morning that was released?
I have listened to half of it so far.
So Raj asked him the question about if we're going to go for promotion or if we're cool with staying at League One and just consolidating and building here at League One. And Ryan kind of gave an answer, but a non-answer. But you kind of get the feeling from Ryan, it's one of those, if we go up, cool, we're good. If not, we're cool with building here at League One. But you kind of get the sense he's like, Rob is absolutely the one that's like, no, we're going to go to the championship and we're going to consolidate at the championship level.
Okay.
Whereas Ryan is the pragmatic one that's like, no, we're cool with staying here at the level at League One.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good shout. I do agree that's kind of been the way it's been. What we've seen from Welcome to Wrexham with the two of them. Absolutely. Carolyn HR has got our next topic, so we will do that next. But I just want to do one shout out before we do. Jason Kershaw, we Huddersfield just need a striker, like you say. Now that they have one, he can't wait to see what they're capable of. Yes, so they've upgraded. We'll be interested to see what they do. They're right at our heels at the moment. And then Wycombe as well. Can they hold out or will they start sliding? Now, Jason, if you're there and if you want to, why don't you come and join us and add another team to this conversation? That would be fun. So I put the shout out for you. If you want to come join, that would be interesting.
You could always counter
Jason,
that with saying,
if y'all could do me a favor and send Callum Marshall back to West Ham so they can send Callum Marshall up here to Wrexham, because we could use a young striker.
Okay.
You guys don't need him anymore?
Cool. James, we have someone else in the background here as well. Is it okay if we pop you out for now?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just let me know if y'all want me to come back in.
Cool. Thanks, James. Talk to you later. And who's hiding in the background that I just noticed? That is Aaron.
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Hello, Aaron. How are you doing?
Good result. I'm pretty sure I picked 1-1, didn't I? Ken, do you remember? Did I go 1-1? Yeah. Right.
I picked 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. I was pretty sure I couldn't remember. I was pretty sure I went 1-1. But it happened so quick in the game, I thought there's no way it's finishing 1-1. But
what did Josh pick? Was it like 6-5 or something daft?
No, he's 1-0. He's 1-0 Wrexham games.
He won't pick a.
Yeah. He said he's 1-0 every Wrexham game.
1-0 every match. He won't pick a result. Yeah, he's one of those weird people that just won't stick their head out there, you know. Okay, so you joined us as we were just swapping topic there. So the new topic is Macca. Now, I did notice in our Discord, because I was watching it as I was watching the match, a lot of discussion, and in the general comments as well on the watch along, half the people saying Macca was doing crap, and half the people saying he was doing really well. Now, my take on this, just very briefly, is Macca is slowing down a little bit. But again, kind of like Palmer, it's his workload. He doesn't stop. He gets in there. And we did play it through the left side a lot, actually, because you were shutting out Barney. He did get crosses in. He almost scored a goal as well. Let's not forget with that header. Almost clipped it in, but your keeper had an excellent reaction, last second impulse reaction almost, I think, and saved that shot. So, who wants to start this one? Thoughts on Macca for this match and in general, then, I guess.
Well, let's let the visitor go first. John, what do you think of Macca?
To be fair, in his defence, he was up against Ethan Laird, who is a very good right back. You know, he's a very good Championship right back, let alone a League One right back. I was going to say, as a point to earlier, about I hear a lot of, and I see it in your Discord, about a lot of people talking about strikers for you guys. I think you need a new left-sided player, if I'm honest, because I think tonight I thought I wouldn't say we marked, but we marshalled Barnett really well. And he is your outball. He's your top assists. You know, he's the guy that sort of provides the crosses, the ones that score the goals. I do think Macca is probably a level below where you want to be or where you are. I think he's done wonderfully well for you guys before, but I just think you'd probably want somebody with a bit more attacking threat and a bit more pace, if I'm honest.
I think that's Longman. I think that's where he's coming in.
He's right-sided though, isn't he?
They've played him on the left. He's been playing on the left. He's right-footed
everywhere. Yeah.
But they've been playing. He likes to cut in on his right because he's right-footed, but he plays on the left-hand side. But I wonder if that's not where he's going.
So here's the big discussion with McLean. He's the hardest trainer. He's the fittest guy. He's a team leader, like that sort of player that gets a team motivated, sets a standard for other players. So, and in saying that's the positive side of McLean. Mm-hmm. The negative side to McLean is gives away a lot of fouls and is probably 1 yard to 2 yards slower than what he needs to be and lacks a little bit of attacking flair. So, which is more important, because if we had another player that was a team leader like McLean, I would replace McLean pretty quickly.
But to be fair, you don't need to get rid of him, do you? Because he's still going to be in the squad. I mean, we have Lukas Djukovic for us. Djuki's an absolute legend with us. But everyone says, he's not captain, but he's the leader. He's been here since the beginning of time. He's a leader of men. He's a really experienced pro, and everyone says the whole dressing room look up to him. He barely kicks a ball for us anymore and hasn't really done for the last 2 seasons. But they kept him around because of his influence with the squad and in the dressing room. it's, who's to say that you can't keep Macca around if he's willing to do the similar sort of role where you just have to explain to him, look, you're not going to play every game, you're not going to start every week, but you are imperative to the squad, so.
That's fair comments. I like that. And yeah, so that's me on Macca. I'm done on Macca. That's where I stand.
Yeah. At the start of the season, I did say that I thought it's time for Macca this season to start heading towards the bench, and to be rotating out. But it's obvious Parky doesn't particularly trust his stand-in at the moment. So what do you do? We don't have better at the moment, according to Parky. So
I think we should switch topics, and this one I'm going to throw to Aaron. Aaron,
okay.
Scar today v O'Connell.
Scar. Okay.
Scar gave up the goal. Scar cost us this game, flat out. Period. He got absolutely burnt. How do you lose? How do you lose their biggest player? He absolutely lost him. He looked like a deer in headlights every time the ball came to his feet. He was horrific. I did not like him in there at all. We would have won that game with the OC, and I'm positive of it. So.
Bold take.
No. Yeah, I disagree. I do.
I'm the absolute outside of the fence to you, Aaron. When a team
watch the game back, watch that cornerback. He got beat twice on corners. Only one went in.
Well, let me finish my comment. When you play a corner, an attacking team plays the corner and they play it to the far post. As a defender, he's marking from the goal out, and it is very easy for an attacking player to get away from their defender, moving away from them further from the goal. Now, in fairness, that header in was very weak, and it was a lucky goal. It came off the back of Dobson and went into the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it back. He ran right past him. Past him and he let him go.
Can I counter something here? I don't think Scar had a great game, but I think coming in from the cold in a game like that, that's a big ask to sort of put in a 9 out of 10 performance and be faultless. So I think you're always going to have to accept there's a little bit of rustiness in there. I'm not sure I would put the goal down to him. We're not particularly great on attacking set pieces, as you can imagine. We're not that sort of side. But I thought there was definitely a plan and there was definitely a tactic why I was quite surprised to see Dykes start this game in the number 10 role. And I think it was very clear from the off that it was because of his physicality, and especially on set pieces. I think we had 2 corners before we scored, and it was again back post swung at the back where Dykes essentially was a free man, and I think Clara was a free man once, where we had obviously seen a weakness in that back post area on set pieces. And I think we also saw a weakness with your goalkeeper, that he doesn't catch balls, because he came and punched everything when it was dropped on his head. And I think it was a tactical setup from us that we knew that we could get around the back. But yeah, you could argue Scar should have been stronger, but I'm not sure I'd put it solely down to him.
Isn't it great?
He got beat twice. Everybody, I get it. Everybody's mad at me, but I don't care. You're all wrong. You're all dead wrong. Watch the game back.
I'm laughing at all the comments.
I know, but here's the thing.
Aaron is getting
here's the reason
roasted.
why. Because I didn't want him to play today, and so I was specifically watching him, and I watched how poor he played. Nobody else was doing what I did today. I promise you, watch the game back and watch Scar and be like, oh yeah, he's not really that good at all. Here's the thing. He does nothing better than EOC, and also he doesn't offer anything going forward that EOC does. So he's not a better player. He's not a better option.
And that's why being a fan is fun.
It's what it is.
He's a blue nose, so I can't really slate him, to be fair. So.
I love it. I love it. No, look, the comments were awesome.
I'm still laughing at all these comments. I'm going through them now. I'm putting up as many as I can because Aaron is absolutely getting blasted by our guys in the chat.
I wasn't the only one. I wouldn't. There's all over. There were several people on Twitter.
Well, they're not in here defending you.
Hey, Carol was one of them. Carol, come on.
The fun part for me,
Carol's scared to say anything because everybody will jump on him too.
The fun part for me was I'm watching the comments, but while I'm watching the comments, I'm watching Aaron's face, and he's got this little smirk going.
He's reading them too. You can tell.
I'm having fun with it. I don't care.
Okay, now following on from that, I actually have a very divisive topic. Let's see, maybe Josh with the hot take. AO had a bad game.
AO, like John mentioned it before, he doesn't come out and catch balls. He has previously, John, and in this game, not so much. I think he was very aware of the pressure he was under against such a good quality side and was just trying to punch the ball away. And there was a couple of times I noticed where I thought AO could have gone and got that ball and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not roasting AO because I still think he had a pretty good game, but he wasn't at his best today. But he was good, but not at his best.
I think these are the same issues that we've always pretty much had with AO. His distribution often isn't amazing. He launches balls to nowhere quite a bit of times. And your players did pressure him quite a bit today, where he had to just hit balls. He wasn't as comfortable, and he wasn't making decisions quick enough, in my mind, as you say, to be comfortable getting those shots off. He was launching them instead of actually placing them. So that has at times been a general issue. He usually does it maybe at least two in a match where he just kicks it straight out the side. And I'm like, what are you doing? The other one that we have said previously, quite a few have, is just his presence in the box. He doesn't come out for balls enough. He doesn't command the area, and I think he gets blocked in on corners far too much. He allows defenders to stand right in front of him, and then our defenders are trying to push your attackers, and then there's four people right in front of AO. And yeah, that I think is a problem he needs to fix.
John, your keeper was good today.
I firstly on AO, I think the diplomatic way of saying it is, I don't think he had a bad game. I just think we maybe focused some of his weaknesses, which were clear to see, probably. We do close every team down. I don't think we probably closed him down any more than we do any other goalkeeper. But I think we obviously realised there was probably a weakness in his game. We tried to focus on that. And yeah, regards our goalkeeper, I think we had Peacock Farrell in net when we played you earlier in the season. He gave us kittens every time he played in goal, because I'll be honest, he's terrible. He's one of the worst goalkeepers I've seen play for us ever. Allsop is fantastic. We've all been really quite pleasantly surprised, because when we signed him, Hull City fans all said he's as good as anyone with the ball at his feet than your outfield players, but he's a dreadful goalkeeper at shot stopping, and he can't save things at his near post. And I think you guys were testament today. McLean's header from the corner at his near post, well, he can save stuff at his near post. But yeah, no, he has been fantastic for us. And I think I said on Josh's show, because we had a bit of a chat about goalkeepers, and I think, as I said to him, also is ridiculously good with the ball at his feet. You probably don't notice that till you probably play us, where teams come and close him down and he'll just ping 60-yard balls to somebody's feet. And I've seen it so many times this season. We all look at each other in the stand and just go, well, our midfielders can't do that. And, and our midfielders are really good. And it's mad. It is mad. And he's a Birmingham fan. So, yeah, we love him. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what, that save off of Macca's header was incredible.
Oh, that was
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that ball didn't go in the net. I could not believe it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I know a lot of fans said when we saw, he's rubbish or near post and doesn't save, and it's like, guys, he was the number one goalkeeper for a whole side that finished just outside the top 6 in the Championship. I'm pretty sure he's going to be good enough for League One level. And I'll be honest, since I've seen him, I know a lot of people say Birmingham, when we get up, we need to buy another goalkeeper. I don't think we do. I think he's more than capable of stepping up into the Championship and being good enough at that level. I won't have any problems.
There you go.
And just to be clear, I'm not negative on AO in any way. He's a young keeper, can absolutely fix these issues that he has with his game, and I hope he does, because he has the potential to drive up the leagues with us over the next however many years it takes us.
Just one extra point on that. I think it was on the goal. I think he got bullied by Alfie May. When the ball came at the back post, May kind of backed into him and bullied him, which was very similar to how you got your goal against us in the first game, where you're bullied, I think, Peacock Farrell, where he came nowhere. So it's a similar sort of thing. But you, in both occasions, you say your goalkeeper's got to be stronger. You know, he is a physical specimen in AO. You know, you just think, well, if that ball is in your area, mate, you've got to come out and clatter everything and collect the ball, because you can afford to do that as a goalkeeper.
And the ref's on your side.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, well, what's next, boys? What do we come next? It's such a great game, so much to talk about.
It was a fantastic game. It was a great watch.
Who was your man of the match for your guys?
I forgot. I gotta be Rathbone, right?
Yep,
I agree. Rathbone.
Paddy?
Yeah, he didn't stop. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, he scored the goal, ran his feet off.
Yeah,
caused trouble.
He was all over the pitch. He was all over.
I actually agreed with Sky. I think they gave it to Dobson. I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
Dobson was good again. He was back to his old self. Before he got dropped a couple of matches, he wasn't playing very well, and we mentioned it in the pre-show that we did before the match that himself and Matty James just didn't seem to work well together. But maybe they figured that out for this match, how they can play together, or maybe it's just because of the intensity that was required in this match. Everybody was on it. And Matty James was playing very high up at certain points today compared to usual. He almost got a ball through for a tap-in, but your defenders just got a toe to it and just got a block on it, which is a little unusual for him to be so
on that. You make a good point. Look, I know, John, you're saying you don't have your best midfield today, but there's still a good midfield. Not your best, but Rathbone, Dobson, and James today, that's our best midfield I've seen all season playing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying regards Rathbone. I just thought Dobson was probably more effective in what he did. I thought Rathbone, like you said, didn't stop. He ran absolutely everywhere. But he reminded me of that dog that just runs but never catches it, if you know what I mean. He closed everything down. He's on one side of the pitch, the other, but the ball sort of 5 seconds in front of him. Whereas I think Dobson was the one that he chased down, but he was the one that got the tackle in, forced us to go back, or he was the one that had that key interception.
Oh, come on, he's Peaky Blinders, Webby.
Who, Rathbone? Well, Rathbone's dad, of course, played for us, didn't he?
Oh, is he talking about Rathbone's list or Dobson's list? Because Dobson's our Peaky Blinders, for sure. And Rathbone's got that little wispy curls that, he looks like the guy that he's about to lose all his hair, and it's just the last of it hanging on.
The worst lettuce goes to Stephen Fletcher. What's going on there? Come on. You're 38 years old, man. Come on.
Samurai. He's a samurai.
Well, if you think that's bad, you should see his tattoo.
Yeah, I have seen it. Please.
Oh, I'm so disappointed he missed that header right at the very end.
Oh yeah,
Fletch today. How many matches in a row now has he saved us in the last couple of minutes? And if he'd done it tonight against Birmingham, that would have been epic.
Imagine the celebration. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean,
it
was
of course, shoulda, coulda, woulda, of course.
But I did see the replay when there was the cluster in the goal. McLean came so close to scoring a goal. Like, he was right there, 2 meters off the goal line, and just missed getting his foot on it. And it was like, oh my God. It was like all the opportunities tonight were just would have been tough.
You could tell we were hanging on for dear life. You only got to look at our substitutions. I mean, he took Stansfield off, who I will admit did not look fit. He was not himself at all. He didn't look as sharp at all. But we bring Djukovic on, who's just a big lump. We bring Bielik on, who's all right, he's our captain and he's a quality player, but he's a big physical guy. You only look at our substitutions. It was like we're hanging on. We're we're getting a point and we're running out of here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to ask you about Stansfield. They were talking about it on our feed on Paramount Plus. They were saying that he hasn't scored in like 4 or 5 games or something. And have you noticed, is he running into a bit of a rough patch, or I was just curious because I haven't seen him play.
I'll be brutally honest. He got injured around Christmas time, and Exeter was his first game back. And I thought it against Exeter, and I thought it again tonight. He doesn't look fully fit. I think it's going to take him a few games to get back there. To be honest,
what was his injury?
We don't really know. It hasn't been publicised.
Okay.
But it was a hamstring injury.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, here's the interesting part about that. Like, you guys made multiple changes, which I was very that's smart, and that's the one thing that makes me really nervous about us going through to the end of the season. And it has every year, is the fact that he plays all these players all the way to 90 minutes and doesn't make changes till the 75th.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, our manager's not a lot different. I mean, I wouldn't say he's copped a lot of flack recently, but I mean, we played Paken Owata pretty much every game this season, and now they're both injured, and everyone keeps saying, well, this is what you get for playing Paken Owata for most of the season. You've got to rotate. So
to be fair, if I had Paken Owata, I think I'd play him every game too.
yeah. I won't lie. We played Exeter on the weekend, and we all sat there and went, well, Paken Owata are wonderful, but Leonard's great and Garden Hickman's not bad. And then after 5 minutes, me and my dad looked at each other and just went, yeah, they're not that good. Paken Owata are a little bit better. So.
Well, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, there's good examples today of. I just think that, for me, around the substitutions, I just feel like if we could do that, 60-minute mark, 65-minute mark, on a regular basis, I just feel it pays dividends in those last 10 matches of the season.
It's your squad, isn't it? That's what it comes down to. It's that strength of your squad. It's the strength of your bench. I mean, our manager keeps saying it. It's not. We don't have He says we have starters and finishers. So and some people 1 week are starters and some people are 1 week of finishers, which is a horrible way of explaining it. But I understand what he means. Is that you've got to have that at time, that tactical advantage on the bench to have those sort of players. It's like I thought Scott Wright for us tonight was dreadful. Didn't impact the game, but every time he's come off the bench for us, his pace and his directness has caused teams problems, especially when they're like 70 minutes in, tired defenders. So you've got to have that balance, and you've got to have those tools at your disposal. I suppose in your regard, maybe Parky just doesn't trust the squad he has to do that.
I thought Anderson, when he came on for you guys, affected the game. I thought he looked good when he came on.
Anderson has probably been our best player for not recently because he's been injured. But he had a run of about 5 games or 6 games where he scored or assisted in every single game, and he was just unplayable. And of course, I think he got took off at half time against Burton, and we hadn't seen him since. And it was a real blow because we're missing Hansen, who usually plays on the other side, and Wright had been injured. So Anderson was really our only winger available. Then he got injured, and then we kind of looked around and went, we don't really have anyone. So it's great to see him back.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at our bench, one thing that has annoyed me with is, especially say the bottom half of the league, our bench players are much better than the bench players that other teams have available to them. They are downgrading when they swap people in, but they need fresh legs because their players are probably already dead. Whereas when we swap in, we stay very, very close to full strength. And then with the fresh legs, you can say we get better because the players coming off are tired. And we don't use that enough because we can trust our bench for those matches. I don't understand it, because it does generally work in like the last 15 minutes and it should be extended further out than that, especially against the the lower half. We should be able to do that with comfort, even if you're taking a very small downgrade on the players that are there. If we grant that we have to do that, just the fresh legs and that slight downgrade would be so much better than the other teams that are there, or it should be in theory.
Yeah, but better than other teams, except like Birmingham, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you've got an absolute quality squad. Now, there's been a fair few comments in there about Mullin. What do we think of Mullin today?
Go ahead, John.
I without wanting to risk upsetting your chat, I'm sorry to say I just don't rate Mullin, and not at this level. I think players have ceilings and players have levels, and I know he's come back from his back injury and that, but every time I've seen Mullin play, I can see a guy that scores a lot of goals in lower leagues. I just think at this level, he's just not he's not at the level you need, if I'm honest. Honest opinion, that's how I think Mullin is. I don't think he's going to change, to be honest.
Aaron?
I thought he looked decent. I thought there was a couple times where he looked dangerous, where we got some balls forward to him. But the quality just hasn't been there for him this year, and not sure what it is with him.
I think the polite way I could say it is he doesn't scare me. He came off on the pitch, and I don't sit there and go. Ugh. Fletcher comes on the pitch, and I go, oh Christ, we better defend him. We better. You can't give him a chance with the ball in the air, or give it to his left foot anyway. Don't give him a chance. Whereas I don't have that with Mullin. Sorry, I just don't.
Yeah. My sense is Mullin has hit his peak.
Yeah.
Like this is his. He's a sub at this level. He's not a starter at this level. Terrible to say because he's done so much for us over the last couple of seasons. But that's football.
Yeah, the question with Mullin is, at this point, with the injury he had in the summer, how much of this is potentially because of the injury? And how much of this is just naturally, this is the level that you're going to get out of Mullin? Because no one really knows, I guess, is he absolutely back to perfect fitness? Or does he still have underlying issues? Because at the moment, I would argue that I feel he has some underlying issue, simply because I think after seeing what happened last year with his rib injury, Parky played him until he got back to sharpness when he came back from that injury. And he is not doing that this time. Maybe it's our position in the league. Maybe we're too strong. He just won't risk it. And he's, more risk adverse, which he is as a manager. But it's so hard to know whether any of it's to do with the injury. He could be back to full strength, and he's not doing it in training either. And this is absolutely his level. Like, we don't know. But we've got him for another couple of years now because we extended his contract and Lee as well. So he'll be around for a while, certainly.
You get some money for him, though, wouldn't you? If you decided to cash in. Let's be honest.
Assuming he's willing to go.
Every football player wants to play. Really?
Well, this is part of the reason why he came to us in the first place. Was family. I don't know if you're aware of it, but he has family issues and wants to be at home and needs to be the family man. And we offered that to take him home at the time. So yes, we could offer the money as well, which made it probably easier. But he didn't come to Wrexham solely for the money. He came to Wrexham to be home with his family. So the idea of him moving to another team, that's not local or whatever, I don't think that's a big thing for him. I think he'll be happy to sit on the bench and become our second striker and even our third striker when it comes to it in another 2 years or whatever. I don't think he's ever leaving.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that, but I would say the point is if you sign Smith or you sign better players and stuff, then suddenly he doesn't make the match day squad, and then the question is what does he want? Is he happy to just train and be in and around it, or
I think he will at that point. I do.
Fair enough.
Well,
it's unusual. I wouldn't normally say that about players. Almost all players will get to the point where they'll move to play. I think potentially with Mullin, with everything he has with the club, with the name, with everything else, I think he's comfortable with what he's done.
Yeah,
that's just me.
And Hipkarma said that I think there's also a psychological barrier because, Paddy, you hit on his fitness. Well, he's moving absolutely fine. He's having no troubles with movement now. Right now, it's about finishing. And that just doesn't come down to him. Like John mentioned, we need a winger. I think we need a winger. I would love a slightly better midfielder, but after what I saw today, I was very happy with those three in the midfield. So, so the delivery to our strikers does need to be better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Mullin's finishing, I don't think is ever really a question. It's a bit like Alfie May for us. His finishing is not really the discussion point. For me, with Mullin, he's one of those players where I think higher up the leagues, it's the movement, the off-the-ball runs, the ability to find that space and that room. And I think that's what separates the strikers as you go up. That, every striker who's been prolific in lower leagues is a good finisher, but you just don't have that knack of finding the space the higher up the leagues as defenders, and defences are better and more organised, and you've got to be better at finding space, and that's what separates the players as they go up, I guess. But that's where I just think Mullin's got to a level now where he struggles to find the room and the space to finish the chances. That's why I think he takes pot shots from 20 odd yards, because he doesn't often get the chances he used to. So when he does get the ball at his feet in around the box, he feels he has to take the unbelievable chance on.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think he's completely out of his depth though. Because he has gotten himself, like, especially when he first came back, he was getting into good spots, and he was just missing sitters. I mean, just
at the tiniest margins, he just wasn't getting on the end of them.
Just missing. But here lately, it's been a little. He hasn't gotten as good of chances. So, I don't know.
And John mentioned, we get another striker. Well, and also Marriott coming back. If we get another striker and Marriott's fully fit, Mullin's not starting.
No, probably not. Not often.
Not often, yeah. But okay, so are we also saying though that Marriott is not on? He's not back yet. He's not ready yet. If Mullin got on today instead,
that was a surprise. I thought Marriott would be the one that came on. Yeah, so I was surprised that he didn't. I don't know. That's a weird one to me. Yeah, I thought he was going to start Marriott today. To be honest.
Me too.
I was hoping he would, but
so what did the managers see on the pitch at that point in time that they brought on Mullin and Fletcher as opposed to, say, Marriott and Fletcher?
Yeah, well, that's training. That's all the stuff we don't get to see.
Yeah.
I think I said to Josh the other day that because he said Marriott's got to start, and I said I'd zero chance he starts. Just don't see it. You don't come off a leg break and come back so quickly. And yeah, you've been in training, but managers, especially experienced ones like Parky's, are not going to stick a player straight back in the starting lineup so soon after a big injury like that. As I said to Josh, what if he starts the game and then goes down after 25 minutes and pulls a calf muscle or something? Parky would be absolutely vilified by the fan base, saying, "Well, you've had a guy that's been missing for months with a broken leg. You started him, and he's injured again. You gradually bring players back." But I wasn't surprised. I actually wasn't surprised he didn't come on. I think you were causing us enough problems, and I thought Parky probably thought, well, the least you're going to get is a point, which he was happy with. And I think he just thought at the time, maybe not for Marriott, and I wasn't surprised to see him left on the bench, to be honest.
Well, Parky did it to Mendy. Parky brought Mendy back on a match where the ground was absolutely soaking wet. Yeah. And he ran up the wing, got his foot stuck, got his studs stuck in the mud, and injured and back out again. So I don't know that I agree with that take. Generally, yes, I'd say you're correct. But
maybe that's changed his mind on things.
Maybe.
And to be fair, Mary didn't come on, and we still had plenty of opportunities to score a winner in the back end of that match, and we didn't. And hats off to Birmingham for defending it. But yeah, we had the opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, can we slack off Birmingham anymore? Like, I really feel like we haven't given it to John hard enough.
Yeah, come on, give me it.
They should have won that match 5-0, and that crap.
We don't beat anyone 5-0. Come on, you got to be better than that.
For 15 million, that guy's shit. Okay, there.
It wasn't even 15 million. Try again.
Okay. Well, I think we've a short but reasonably interesting question here from Mazaking, from the opposite side. Question: did we change our tactics for Birmingham today? Quick answer: no, not really. But guys, if you want to have a quick shot at that, because we did play Lee again. That's just we've kind of been discussing this a little bit, but that's unusual. This is the issues we're having with our strikers up the front.
Yeah, because of the injuries and Mullin not playing all that well, we've been playing Lee as that as that second striker, and he's kind of playing more in a 10 role behind Palmer, whereas like Mullin or Marriott would play up front with him, and pushing the line. But I think we haven't done it hasn't looked that great, especially going forward. And like Lee was almost, was he even there today? You know what I mean? Like he didn't do anything, I don't think.
He did a lot off the ball.
Right. But it was just one of those, like, he wasn't effective. To me, he didn't cause them any problems. I think John may have already said that.
Yeah, I did mention it earlier. He's a very small target when we're whipping balls in from the wings. He's a very small target to get to.
Yeah,
he needs to be found in open play.
Yeah.
And did we change our tactics today? No, but we executed our tactics better today.
Yeah,
than we have been lately.
Here's the thing, and this is we talked about this last season. Playing a team like you suits us well because we like to sit back and defend. We are happy to let you have the ball. And the problem is last weekend, we played Shrewsbury and we had all the ball. And we don't play as well when we have all the ball. We struggle going forward.
You don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's like, what's this? We have a ball. What do we do with it?
I said to Josh, I said, I totally get that, and you see it with your results. But I did say to him, I said, the one thing is we're probably that one side where you don't want to just give us all the ball. I think today, missing our midfield, it probably helped in that matter because we couldn't control the game like we normally do.
Sorry, that's a perfect comment. Guys, who else on a podcast turned around and says, you don't want to give us all of the ball because we'll beat you 5-0?
Oh, Peterborough.
Peterborough boys, the Poshcast boys, they came out and said some ridiculous shit before the Peterborough match. And I have been shitting on them ever since. They say some ridiculous crap.
But John, you're right. Don't just when you say don't just let us have the ball. And yes, you held possession, but we
pressured it. Yeah,
we pressed on the counter and we did what we had to do against you guys to be effective today.
To get it back.
Yeah. I thought today when we got the equaliser, the mirror of the first game was kind of eerie in a sense that
scary.
Once we got that equaliser, I thought we had about a 10-minute period after that where I thought you'd gone. You kind of went right back into your shell, and I thought this is the first game all over again. But we just didn't quite have that killer instinct to really put our foot on the ball, dictate the game, and push you all the way back. And then I think right at I think that's kind of how it panned out towards half time, and then after half time, different game completely.
Yeah.
But
I've just realised it wasn't the midfield you guys were missing today. It was Tom Brady. Missing the jawline.
Listen, your quarterback.
We love our Tom. Don't start.
So did Giselle once upon a time.
Worst thing is, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I've hated Tom Brady for years. So I'm really stuck here because I see him and I go, "Oh, it's wonderful." It's like I remember you absolutely slaughtering the Buffalo Bills and me swearing at the TV against you for years. So.
Yeah, I love it. That's so good. I mean, look, I've had the best time today watching that game of football. Like, if you told me I could tune into a League One match every week that was like that, you couldn't drag me away from the television.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Because you didn't win.
No.
Look, absolutely. It was more enjoyable for our side than yours. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm saying League One, not Championship and Premier League.
No. See, I'm a typical spoilt Birmingham fan. I like to see pass and move and Man City football these days. And if we don't have like 70% and 800 passes, I'm sitting there going, well, this is rubbish. So, so we're spoilt these days. So, but we see it a lot in League One, to be honest. The amount of games we see this season. I mean, you guys did exactly against us, which a lot of teams try and do. They try and make it a scrap. They try and make it a fight. They try and close us down in certain areas. I'll just be honest, 90% of the time, we're just too good for people. Tonight, we weren't.
That's fair.
At least you guys do something with the ball when you pass it around, unlike the posh boys who love to pass the ball around and do absolutely nothing and are now in a relegation battle.
Paddy, that's not true. When they pass the ball around, they concede goals. They do something.
I got two things for the pre. I'm really glad the Poshcast lads upset you, because they completely upset the entire Birmingham fan base at the start of the season when they were doing their pre-season predictions. I think there was a guy called Harry. I think it's Harry was on there, who had his nice little rant and said Birmingham are going to finish 9th. They're going to sack their manager after October. They're going to be rubbish. Blah blah blah. So of course, when we were top of the league and when we played them, he turned up to the pre-match podcast in a Villa shirt. So any respect went out the window from that point. And I must admit, when they went 2-0 up against us at St Andrews and we beat them 3-2, that was a very sweet victory, I must admit.
So what's the chances of Posh actually going down this season? They're getting close. They're getting close.
I got a stable.
I'll be honest. It would be funny in a way, but I can't see it. You just sit there and go, surely they've got something about them. And Poku will be back in February, and
I think Crawley have 2 games in hand on them.
I just lost a whole heap of that. It just froze up. I went to black screen for everybody there for about 10 seconds.
It's what happens to the Peterborough defence. Don't worry.
Actually, I was going to say, I don't want to give the Posh boys all this airtime and stuff, but what I'd love to do is do a clip up of all their comments from earlier in the season and play them.
That's up there. Thanex.
I did. I think I did listen to a bit of a podcast where they had one of their guys who went on another Wrexham show. Sorry, I can't remember which one it was. And the one chap was, I think it was Charlie or something, was saying, well, so I like to see football, blah blah blah, and it's pass and move, and I don't see how you could watch your football every week. And one of the guys just replied and said, yeah, it's utterly terrible watching us our football every week and being third, and you watching all your lovely football and being 18th. He said it's awful, isn't it? So
yeah, if he was on Fearless in Devotion, and they clipped him up afterwards for all of his comments and put it up there, and it was hilarious.
Bless
him. They're in 19th position on 27 points, and they're 2 wins clear of the relegation zone at the moment.
Yeah, but how many games in hand have Crawley on them?
2.
Crawley have got 2 games in hand on them.
Yeah, see.
But here's the thing that here's what I'll say. I think with their goal difference is only -5, and everybody that's around them is -14, -16. Yeah. Crawley's -19. I don't think they're going to go down.
I won't hear that on the
let's remove Aaron for that comment. That's it.
Do you think Poku stays?
Poku. No.
It's a tough one because of his injury, isn't it? And I know he's not back till February, but
yeah, I don't know. Well, if they sell him, if he's not back till February, they're kind of screwed.
And he's out of contract end of the season, so it's a weird one. So
he might stay at your squad till the end of the season, but stay at the squad till the end of the season, but might not get any more game time.
I just wonder if they keep him and he comes back in February, he'll probably be the difference maker of them. Sadly,
Yeah, probably.
Fair
Probably,
call.
but yeah, we'll see. You're back. There you go. We got
Yeah, my
camera again.
No, for some reason I wasn't sure what was going on. I figured it out.
You thought you'd fix that internet, Aaron.
It wasn't the internet. It was the computer. The internet's been fantastic.
You need to change a wheel bearing on the computer now.
Dude, apparently. Something like that.
Yeah. It's well, okay. Well, I think we've pretty much what's coming up next for you guys. Who you got next, John?
Huddersfield. So you'll be cheering us on all day long on Tuesday, I would
absolutely.
imagine.
Yeah.
Birmingham scarves and everything will be out for you, I'm sure. So, but no, yeah, Huddersfield away. I don't know whether Paker or Water are due back or anything. I wouldn't be surprised if we have another signing coming through the door as well. I think we're after two players. We're after a left back because we lost Buchanan to a season-ending injury, and we're after a winger. So who we get, I have no idea. There's lots of theories going around. There was a rumor going around that we bid for Morgan Whittaker last night, which I don't see personally. But whether we get anyone in by Tuesday, I don't know. But it'll be another really tough game, to be honest. And if we're missing, I mean, we're definitely going to be missing Williamson because he's out for a few weeks. Paking and Water, the question marks. If they're fit and come back in, I would be very confident we would go there and get a result. As much as I know they've spent money on their attacking line, I back our defence against anyone, to be honest.
Yep. I can understand why after watching your defence today.
Yeah, they look good. They're fantastic.
Ooh, I just had a quick look. Sorry, guys. I just had a quick look there because I was interested to see when your match against Huddersfield was. They have a match against Bolton on Saturday, and then against you guys on the 28th. So they're gonna have like only 3 days.
Yep,
or something.
Shame. Shucks.
And they could lose both those games.
Yeah, so if Bolton can pull one off,
I'll be honest. With Everett leaving, I know they're probably not going to have a manager in place by Saturday, but
they'll probably do better.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if you're Huddersfield, you're thinking, God, couldn't you have just waited one more game? One more game. That's all we would have wanted. Now you don't know what Bolton's going to turn up, do you? The way that Everett's thrown the players under the bus. If they come out and whack Huddersfield 3-0, you would not be shocked. So
yeah, but it could be the manager bounce thing as well. That happens a lot. Who knows? Yeah.
Manager bounce.
Yeah, we've got Stevenage in our next weekend. They were 16th on the table, so that should be,
did they beat us? Fuck's sake.
I know.
We both lost to Shrewsbury. It happens.
Yeah.
We are at home. So
yeah, well. Are we?
Yeah, you got to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to.
We're at home to Stevenage. We lost to them 1-0 away earlier in the year. I think it was. Absolutely terrible. We played terrible. But we need to produce tonight's game next week against a lower league team, a lower league side, and that's the difference between, fair to say, John, your team and our team. You can produce quality and beat lower league teams
with ease, pretty much,
week on, week out. You play better at that than we do.
Yeah. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, like you just said, with ease." But it doesn't look
generally.
Yeah, it doesn't look so on score lines, but yeah, I do see what you mean. In game, I mean, we played Exeter at 1-0, and everyone kind of, if you were to look at that, go, well, Birmingham struggled at home, but it was 70-odd% possession. They didn't have a shot and didn't get in our box. But yeah, we don't batter teams. We're not going to sort of go to a side and win 3-4-0. That's not us. It's not how we play. We essentially go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and then just suck the life out of teams by passing them to death. That is our game plan. So yeah, it's efficient.
Okay. Well, are you going to the match the weekend? Not the weekend. Yours is next week, next Tuesday.
No, sadly, that pesky thing work gets in the way. So sadly, no.
Work's overrated.
It really is, but it's watching at home on Sky, I think it is. So.
Well, Mazza King, yes, keep your eye out tomorrow. I think you might see something tomorrow. And look, I'm very happy. I'm done for that day. I'm going to do it now on that bombshell, guys. Great result for both teams today, and bring on.
He's gone.
He can't leave.
Cut himself
Did you do that, Aaron?
I didn't do it. He cut himself off.
He cut himself off. Okay.
He leaves his own show. Isn't this the Ken show these days? You know, come on.
Excuse me. How very dare you?
Enjoy the local Ken. I mean, like, no, it is the local pundit. Local Ken comes on other days. Have a good one, guys.
Can I just say I was the cause of that when I put a comment in and I said on Ken's show, and Josh was like, "It's not Ken's show." And I was like, "No, I meant on the show Ken was on. He just worded it wrong." And then the chat just took off, and it was all Ken's show. I was like, "Sorry, Josh, my fault, my bad."
Well, you never know. We might actually do a little watch along next Tuesday. Then that would be an interesting match to watch.
Yeah.
So let's see. But yeah, I think we've had a really cool conversation, guys. This was really fun. The match was good, and I guess look, a draw was nice, so everybody kind of goes home happy.
Yeah.
It was the result that suited everyone, wasn't it?
Well, it would have suited us more if we'd won, because I think you can afford the points. So, but anyway,
yes.
Let's not be greedy. So, guys, thank you very much for everything. And thank you very much to the chat and everybody else. There was a lot of people in today, lots of comments. I know I missed some guys, but there was way too many there. So thanks very much. And we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.